With a military band playing and the Chinese destroyer Xining standing by in full dress, President Xi Jinping arrived at the Qingdao Olympic Sailing Centre shortly after midday on Tuesday. Here he reviewed a naval parade attended by fleets from countries across the world to mark the 70th anniversary of the founding of the People's Liberation Army Navy. President Xi inspected the Navy Honour Guard before boarding destroyer Xining, then headed to the designated waters for the fleet review. An hour later, the Xining arrived at the scheduled waters, and the commander of the Chinese Navy, Vice Admiral Shen Jinglong, reported to Xi Jinping. "32 Chinese warships, 39 warplanes, and 18 ships from 13 other countries were neatly formed. The warships were divided into groups: submarines, destroyers, frigates, landing ships, auxiliary fleets, and carriers. The aircraft included helicopters, early warning aircraft, reconnaissance planes, anti-submarine patrol aircraft, bombers, fighter planes, and carrier-based fighters. When passing the inspection ship, every fleet sounded a long whistle and manned the rail. President Xi then reviewed the visiting international fleets. Reviewing international fleets is a maritime courtesy of the Navy and a unique means of friendly exchange between navies around the world. Ships from 13 countries, including Russia, Thailand, India, Japan, South Korea, Australia and Myanmar, all in full dress, passed the Xining destroyer in turn, and Xi Jinping waved to the officers and sailors. On the rear deck of the Xining, the heads of 61 foreign naval delegations stood and saluted their own country's ships. The parade took about an hour and concluded with the playing of Auld Lang Syne, a traditional Scots folk song. President Xi has attracted great importance to the construction of the Navy and has inspected China's forces several times. He has encouraged them to build a world-class naval force. Since April 23, 1949, when the first naval team sailed from the White Horse Temple in Taizhou, Jiangsu Province, the Chinese Navy has become a maritime armed force capable of safeguarding national sovereignty, security and development interests.
China's industry sector was among those making first quarter gains. Industrial added value was up 6.5% for enterprises with an annual revenue above 20 million yuan.
Industry growth in general is slower than the same period last year, mainly because growth in mining and electricity generation has slowed down, but growth in manufacturing has sped up.
The manufacturing sector's PMI, or Purchasing Managers Index, rose back above its standard threshold of 50, which indicates growth. Elsewhere, 5G hit the world's telecommunications sector in quarter number 1. Major players are racing to build up the high-speed network. Chinese officials say the nation will keep pushing to roll out the network.
We will work with related enterprises to roll out 5G nationwide. We will start in regions where demand is higher. It might take time before 5G covers the whole country.
In the private sector, industrial added value grew 10.6% in the first quarter, significantly faster than industry in general. That happened following the release of several favorable government policies launched after this year's 2 sessions.
The International Monetary Fund projects that the Asian economy will grow 5.4% in 2019 and in 2020, and will remain an important engine for global economy. The IMF earlier raised the projection for China's economic growth to 6.3% amid continued trade talks between Beijing and Washington. The IMF said that a U.S.-China trade deal should prove to be positive and that China's structural reforms will benefit global growth.
Even though we are worried about China's slowdown and already in the last October worried about the slowdown of Asia, with this 5.4% growth rate in Asia, still Asia accounts for more than 60% of global growth. In that sense, I can say that Asia is an important engine of growth in the global economy. China alone, 6.3% growth is on your larger economy. Previously, your economy was relatively smaller than now. Your growth rate is 10%. But if you multiply by 6.3% growth rate with your large economy now, still China alone accounts for more than 33% of the global economy.
The IMF proposed that any macroeconomic policy mix should be aimed at preventing further economic deceleration, and macroeconomic policies should become more accommodative. Other experts agreed, saying China would likely remain on its high-quality growth path. They added that China's monetary and fiscal policies should be more coordinated with changing circumstances in order to function in a reasonable range.
I agree with the IMF's suggestions, as monetary policy should be data-dependent and ensure inflation remains on track towards the central bank's target. Also, fiscal policy should strike a balance between supporting demand and ensuring sustainability. China's ongoing structural reforms and policy stimulus would help the country remain on a sustainable, high-quality path.
We think all the policy should be coordinated, fiscal policy and monetary policy coordinated to be implemented in a gradual way and to help stabilize the aggregate demand.
This family of 4 went to celebrate Easter on Sunday, but came back in coffins on Monday. Pratap, his wife Antasi, and their daughters were standing outside the St. Anthony's Church as it was too crowded to enter. Little did they know that this was their last Mass. Their bereaved mother refuses to leave the side of the coffins, and others are still in disbelief.
It seems like we are all dead. It seems like a part of my body is cut. The whole family is dead along with the children. I cannot express the pain. We can never forget this pain.
The number of grieving families is increasing as police identifies bodies of people who were killed in the explosions. The government has announced compensations for the victims.
To the families, 1 million, and also that for those who are injured, and according to their injuries, from 100,000 rupees to 300,000 rupees to be paid, and also all the churches damaged to be completely repaired and renovated by the government expenses.
An explosion went off on Monday in a van near St. Anthony's Church when bomb squad officials were trying to defuse it. The police also found 87 bomb detonators at the bus station. This caused panic among people.
Around 4 o'clock, blast sound heard, a big blast sound. We also scared very much. And after that, I hope maybe what going to happen another days also. Everyone scared very much.
It will take a few days before life becomes normal in Sri Lanka, but those who lost their loved ones will never forget this pain.